Hey everybody, Ace Trinillion here and welcome to my new series, Form Fight. Form Fight is kind of like my Branched Evolution series where I compared the branched evolutions of certain Pokemon, but a bunch of you guys did ask me, can I do this for Alolan forms and things like that, and I thought, why not? And to spice things up a little bit, each episode of Form Fight will feature a Metronome battle between the different forms of the Pokemon in question. If you're excited for this new series, give this video a thumbs up and of course hit the subscribe button so that you never miss a future episode. But with that out of the way, let's take a look at today's challengers. Today we're going to be comparing the two forms of Raichu, Kantonian and Alola. It'll come as no surprise that evolving a Pikachu in any region other than Alola will produce a regular Raichu, nowadays known as Kantonian Raichu, as a nod to its introduction in the original Pokemon region. An evolving Pikachu in the tropical region of Alola will produce the relatively newly introduced Alolan Raichu. So what's so different about these two forms? Let's compare. Firstly, the Pokedex has Kantonian Raichu standing at 0.8 meters tall and weighing 30 kilograms. Its Pokedex entry tells us it unleashes electric shocks that can reach 100,000 volts. When agitated, it can knock out even an Indian elephant. It becomes aggressive when it has electricity stored up. At such times, even its trainer has to take care to avoid being attacked. As for Alolan Raichu, it stands slightly shorter at 0.7 meters tall and weighs 21 kilograms. The Pokedex says it only evolves into this form in the Alola region. According to researchers, its diet is one of the causes of this change. It uses psychokinesis to control electricity. It hops aboard its own tail, using psychic power to lift the tail and move about while riding it. Looking at their appearance, these two Pokemon aren't too dissimilar, aside from Alolan Raichu's ears and tail having a more fluffy, rounded shape. Although that's probably something to do with the amount of fluffy pancakes this Pokemon supposedly eats. Shiny-wise, Alolan Raichu has the more dramatic colour change, and ends up looking more like an evolved form of Shiny Dedenne than of Shiny Pikachu. Now let's have a look at these Pokemon's typing, weaknesses and resistances. Firstly, Kantonian Raichu is a pure electric type, meaning it's only weak to ground type moves, and it resists flying, steel and electric type moves. As for Alolan Raichu, it's a dual electric and psychic type Pokemon. This gives it more weaknesses, making it weak against ground, bug, ghost and dark type moves, but also gives it more resistances, now resisting fighting, flying, steel, electric and psychic type attacks. It's also worth noting that neither of these Pokemon are immune to any other types. However, as both these forms have the electric type, they are immune to paralysis. Now we'll take a look at the stats and abilities of these Pokemon forms. Firstly, we have the original Kantonian Raichu, with its excellent speed and above average attack and special attack. It does have decent special defense, but its HP and physical defense leave something to be desired. Kantonian Raichu's primary ability is Static, which has a 30% chance to paralyze an opponent who uses a move that makes contact. This can be very useful when faced with a strong opponent to give you a little bit more chance of survival. Its hidden ability is Lightning Rod, which causes all single target electric type attacks used by opponents or allies to be absorbed by Raichu, and raises its special attack by one stage. It's worth noting that all multi-target electric type attacks will still hit all targets, but Raichu will still take no damage from it and will still get the special attack boost. This ability has been proven time and time again to be incredibly useful for protecting allies and also making Raichu a more formidable fighter. As for Alolan Raichu, its stats are fairly similar to its Kantonian cousin, the only differences being that its physical attack and defense are lowered by 5 points each to allow its special attack and special defense to be increased by 5 points each, effectively allowing Alolan Raichu to deal a smidge more damage whilst also faring better against special attacking foes. Alolan Raichu only gets the option of one ability, which is Surge Surfer, which doubles Alolan Raichu's speed when electric terrain is in effect. This is mainly useful when using Alolan Raichu alongside Pokemon like Tapu Koko, who can summon electric terrain on entry. Now for me, choosing a favourite is a difficult task, because I really prefer the look of Kantonian Raichu, I just think it looks cooler, but then Alolan Raichu seems like it would be a much more effective Pokemon to use in battle. But then again, Kantonian Raichu has those really cool abilities that are really useful abilities to have. But then Alolan Raichu gets access to Speed Swap, which if you use that move on one of your terrifyingly powerful allies, it then becomes next level terrifying. Like, can you imagine a Gigalith with Raichu speed? Time to settle this the old-fashioned way, with a good old Metronome battle. Before we get started with the battle, I just want to point out the Pokemon that are battling all have max IVs in all stats, 0 EVs in all stats, their hidden abilities, and are holding no items. The only advantages any of these Pokemon get come from their own base stats and from their own typing. Everything else is at the mercy of the Metronome. Let's do this. Here we go, first Metronome battle of the Form Fight series. We have Alolan Raichu and Shiny Alolan Raichu against Kantonian Raichu and Shiny Kantonian Raichu. Everything here is down to the Metronome. Everything is going to be based on luck. There is going to be no way of clearly knowing who's going to be the winner until this thing's over. Perfect example there, we just got a baton pass, which of course there are no allies to switch out to for the two teams. Oh, we get Grassy Terrain though by the Alolan Shiny Raichu, so that's going to heal everybody that's taken damage at the end of each turn whilst that Grassy Terrain's in effect. That's going to make for some very interesting gameplay going through. I say gameplay, we got Raichus using Aqua Tail. It's hardly gameplay, it's more just complete unpredictable nonsense when it comes to Metronome battles. We're going to get a pluck from Kantonian Shiny Raichu onto the regular coloured Alolan Raichu, which of course is not very effective, and now we see the Grassy Terrain come into effect, healing a little bit of HP to the two regular coloured Raichu. What's going to happen in the next turn? Of course, all these Pokemon have the same speed stat, so it's a speed tie every turn, so we never know who's going to go first, although Rock Polish is going to sharply increase the speed of the Shiny Kantonian Raichu, so now we know who is going to go first each turn. It's going to be that, unless Trick Room comes into effect at any point, which we don't know. It's a Metronome battle. There we go with the chip away on the regular Kantonian Raichu, who's going to retaliate with what? What are we getting? We're getting Hidden Power, which, because all these Pokemon have max IVs, that is going to be Dark-type Hidden Power, which in this case is super effective on the Alolan Raichu, and of course a critical hit as well. It's a great time to be alive, right? Isn't it, Raichu? It's so confusing with them all being called Raichu as well. That just completely throws me off. But there we go. We're going to see Grassy Terrain take even more effect on all these Pokemon now that everybody's taken a little bit of damage. I think everybody's taken damage. Let's see, let's see. No, that shiny Kantonian Raichu still hasn't taken any damage this battle. Let's see what punishment it's going to dish out with the Metronome. Goes for an Ember. I mean, that's not really that effective. It's neutral damage, but it's a pathetically low base power move. Oh, we're going to get a defense boost with the withdraw for the regular Kantonian Raichu. Lovely. What about the Alolan team? What are they going to bring to the table? What's the Metronome going to dish out for them this time? We get a Horn Leech, so we're going to take some neutral grass-type damage and, of course, get some HP restored on that Raichu. Desperately needed it, the Alolan Raichu. And, of course, at the end of this turn, they're going to get even more healing from the Grassy Terrain, which is still in effect. Oh, we get a Play Rough, though. It's on the shiny Kantonian Raichu, finally taking some damage in this battle. Interestingly, that would have probably knocked out the regular Kantonian Raichu, so it's still anybody's guess as to how this one's going to play out. I'm a little bit on the scared side for the Kantonian side of things. It's not looking good. I would say the Alolan forms currently have the advantage. But again, it's early days. We don't know. I got no idea what's going to happen in this. We get a Future Sight, which isn't going to be very effective when it does hit. But it's there. It's looming. So that could play a factor later on. I have no idea. Here we get Sunny Day. So if this would have been in effect when that Ember would have happened, it would have given it a little bit boost in power, boost up those fire-type moves. But unfortunately, it's just there now. So we'll see. Maybe someone will get a Morning Sun and we'll get a little bit more power to that. Confusion, again, a Psychic-type move. It's not going to do a lot of damage because, as we discussed earlier, Alolan Raichu is a Psychic-type and therefore resists Psychic-type attacks. Oh, what are we getting? Scary Face. Okay, who are you going to slow down? You're going to slow down the regular Raichu. So the speed advantage is still with the Kantonian Raichu that is the shiny one because it already used Rock Polish. So it's already +2 speed. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Let's have a gander. As everybody gets healing, this is getting a little bit on the repetitive side, I'm not going to lie. Hopefully this Grassy Terrain dies down soon. There's the speedy one, there's the speedy shiny with Flatter. That's going to raise the special attack of this Alolan Raichu, but it's going to confuse it as well. So I'm wondering, is that safe? For the Pokemon that has the slightly higher special attack anyway, do you really want to be raising its special attack? Of course, that's the Metronome giveth, and the Metronome taketh away. We get a Magnitude. Luckily, it's only Magnitude 4, but how much damage is that going to do to all three of the other Raichu on the field? Oh, barely anything. Let's face it. It was super effective on everybody, but it wasn't really that effective. You'd expect more from a ground-type move. Here we get a Flame Wheel with the Sunny Day up. That's going to be extra powerful. Look at all the damage on that shiny Raichu and the burn. Oh boy, the Kantonian team it doesn't look good at this point, does it? We get a Spatial Rend. Holy moly, that is a beautiful maneuver. Oh my word. Okay, now it was a crit as well. Shiny Alolan Raichu is in a little bit of trouble. But we are going to see that HP be healed by grassy terrain again. But remember, there is a burn on the shiny Kantonian Raichu. So it's a little bit touch and go as to where things are going to go. Can the Kantonian Raichu pair bring this back? I'm not sure they can, to be honest. But we'll see. Okay, the grassy terrain is gone. No more healing each turn, which means that burn is going to play such a factor in the next few turns. We get Flash, lowering the accuracy of which Raichu? The shiny Alolan Raichu's accuracy is going to drop. Okay, well, let's see where we go from here. We have the confused regular... Oh, hitting himself, the regular Alolan Raichu. Okay. What are we going to see from shiny Alolan Raichu now? What's the Metronome going to give us? Teleport, which is automatically going to fail. You can't escape from this battle as much as you want to. Although you're on the winning team at the moment, so why would you want to? Fusion Bolt is going to raise the special attack of which Raichu? Of the shiny Kantonian Raichu, because of that Lightning Rod ability. Remember, all these Pokemon have their hidden abilities, although technically the Alolan Raichus don't have hidden abilities because they only have access to the Surge Surfer. But okay. I'm a little bit scared. I'm still scared for the Kantonian side. I don't know if they're going to pull it back. But we get Misty Terrain in effect now. So I believe that's going to prevent any status moves. So any status effects like paralysis and things like that. It's kind of like having Safeguard up. I believe that's how Misty Terrain works. We get a Trop Kick onto the regular Kantonian Raichu, who barely lives it with 6 HP. Lowered attack though. That's not good. Is it going to survive the next turn, though? Oh, we get a Revelation Dance, which is going to be absorbed by... Who's it going to be absorbed by? Because it's Electric-type Revelation Dance, because of that primary electric typing. Kantonian Raichu gets the special attack boost from that. That's lovely. Oh, goes for Magic Room, though. That's not going to be effective because there are no held items on these Pokemon, so that's a completely pointless turn. As we see Kantonian Shiny Raichu get burned that little bit more. It's looking like dark days for the Kanto boys, if I'm honest. Oh my word. We get Iron Defense. Is it too little too late? Because yes, that's going to raise your defense, but I think you're pretty much done at this point. You need to do something about that burn. Here we go. We've snapped out of Confusion and we are going for Electrify, which is going to be absorbed again by which Raichu? By the regular Kantonian Raichu. It now has +2 special attack. Can it survive to use that, though? What are we going to get? Hyper Beam. Which one's it on? Oh, my word. Oh, it was worth it for the 6 HP. So, regular Kantonian Raichu goes down. Oh, my word. The sunlight's gone. The Misty Terrain's still in effect. There is still a burn on my boy, Kantonian Shiny Raichu. I don't know. He needs like Rock Slide or something to be able to win this one. Even then, I'm not sure. Goes for Bulk Up. That is probably the worst thing that could have happened on this turn. That's pretty much the nail in the coffin for the Kantonian team. Here we go. We're getting Metronome by the regular Alolan Raichu, who goes for Meteor Mash. It's not going to be very effective because it's a Steel type, but it's going to be the knockout. So we have clear winners. Here you are, ladies and gentlemen. The Alolan forms have won it for this one. We have Alolan Raichu with the win in the Metronome battle.
So we have a winner in the Metronome battle, but what do you think? Which of these Pokemon forms is your favourite? Leave a comment letting everybody know why your pick is the clear winner. Make sure you follow me on Twitter for all my latest updates so you never miss one of my live streams or anything like that. And if you'd like to see your name at the end of these videos, or you'd like to see these videos before anyone else, consider joining my Patreon. It costs $1 a month, which is less than the price of a nice, round, fluffy pancake. Make sure you subscribe and click the little bell so you never miss one of my videos, and until next time, I'm H Trenillium. Keep on training.